Imagine one day you wake up and you realize that you got a superpower of time traveling, but somehow it ended up causing a big apocalypse. How? Well, let's find out. Hello, my name is Gray and welcome to every recap ever. Today we are visiting a sci-fi movie called Breaking Infinity. Also, we have started our Patreon where we upload Patreon exclusive recaps, and all of them are unblurred. With only $1 a month, you can connect to us and help us make more recap for you. A young man named Liam keeps getting visions of a mysterious old man. That person tries to wake him up and warn him about his future. Liam wakes up in a medical facility and finds himself injured. As he tries to remember how he got here, a nurse named Emma visits him. She explains that he was exposed to an intense electromagnetic field which resulted in his amnesia, or in simple terms, partial memory loss. Liam tries asking some questions, but she suggests him to take some rest and simply walks away. Suddenly, he drifts away and gets a vision of waking up in the middle of nowhere. As he looks in the distance, he sees a massive explosion that completely engulfs him. Liam then keeps jumping from one vision to another. He even sees Emma in one of them. His condition worsens in real life and Emma tries to wake him up, but Liam suddenly lands in another scene. He finally meets that old man and wonders about his identity. The old man gives him some objects and Liam wakes up again in the facility. He tries to tell Emma about his visions, but she ignores him. She believes that he is hallucinating due to amnesia. Liam suspects that Emma might be doing something to him, but she reassures him that she is just helping him. Emma shows him some images to trigger his memories, but that doesn't help him. Later, Liam learns that this is not a medical facility but a research facility, and he is a scientist. Liam was doing research and was working to create a time machine. He exposed himself to electromagnetic waves for unknown reasons and his body just vanished in the process. The scary part is, he later gets found in a different location which is 180 kilometers away from the facility. There are a lot of higher-up people out there who want to know how he did this. Later, while seeing those images, Liam again gets a vision of the world collapsing. He wakes up and explains to Emma that the pictures are related to the end of the world. Suddenly, head of the facility, Mr. Carter barges in and asks Emma to speed up the process. He warns her that he needs all the information as soon as possible or he has to find someone else to do the job. When he leaves, Emma explains the situation. Basically, they want to recreate the procedure and expose him to the electromagnetic field. Liam thinks for a bit and agrees to help them. They go to the laboratory where he meets his colleague Garrett. They were working on the same project with Liam in the past. He then goes to a chamber and Garrett starts the machine. Suddenly, he finds himself in a hotel room with all the bruises. He checks his phone and finds a video of himself saying, "It's the inverse square of C." Emma enters the room, which initially shocks him, but later he realizes that he is seeing some future incident. He basically ran away with Emma from the facility. She knows about Liam's time-traveling thing, and she quickly understands that the person in front of her is Liam from the past. She asks him to change the past and stop the world from ending. A massive flash, and he finds himself in front of the old man. He notices the man is making a spiral on the stone. Why? Well, according to the man, it helps him understand that he has been there before. Old man informs him that Liam is on a right track. Another explosion happens and he finds himself back in the laboratory. He calls out to Emma and falls unconscious. After waking up, he explains everything he saw to Emma, but she doesn't believe him. Yeah, she thinks that he is just flirting with her and creating some fantasy about staying at a hotel. She gets a little frustrated hearing his blabbering and leaves. Later, Liam goes to the bathroom and draws a circle on a mirror. Why? Well, to know if he has been there before. Suddenly, he jumps through different scenes, and when he comes back, he sees that the circle is now converted into a spiral shape. In short, Liam from another timeline came to this timeline and completed the spiral. But what does an old man have to do with all this? Next day, Liam again goes to the laboratory to continue the experiment. He asks Garrett about the inverse square of the C thing, and he gets an idea to change some settings. Liam again tries to convince Emma, but she's still skeptical. She tells him if she wants to believe him, he has to find out her secret. Basically, she asks him to find an answer of what she stole from her sister's room when she was a child. The machine starts and suddenly he finds himself to the day when he and Garrett was showing their time-traveling machine to the military higher-ups. Liam figures out this is actually a past. It's their first test and they successfully manage to send a light ray to 15 minutes in the future. Later, while discussing things with Carter, he sees Emma. He quickly goes to her and asks for her help. Well, she thinks that he is hitting on her and brushes him off. Suddenly, he jumps from the time and lands near the old man. He explains to Liam that the place he was at before was the place where the destruction started. After coming back, he starts telling Emma about everything, and again she doesn't believe him.
Women.
He even mentions the old man and the mountain-looking place. Now, the serious part is Garrett immediately recognizes the place Liam is mentioning, but he decides to not tell anyone. Garrett points out an unusual thing. While Liam was under the electromagnetic field for 30 seconds, the atomic clock shows that he was there for 3 hours. The situation still seems very fuzzy to Liam, and he insists on doing the same experiment again. Why? Because he thinks that doing it again will help him connect all the dots. Emma initially says no as the waves are affecting his body, but eventually agrees and allows him to go under the field for 10 seconds. After starting the waves, he suddenly lands in a car with Emma. He deduces it must be the future when he runs away from the facility with Emma. However, the thing is, in this future, Emma completely believes his time travel thing and world-ending phenomenon. Liam recognizes the scene and quickly takes a video of himself saying, "It's the inverse square of C." He jumps back to the old man and sees him completing the spiral. Later, after waking up from the experiment again, he tries to talk with Emma. She is now against to let him use the electromagnetic wave machine. Basically, it's killing his body from inside, and she thinks it's triggering the hallucinations. He tries convincing her that he needs to save the world from ending. But even this time, she doesn't believe him and leaves. Suddenly, he travels through multiple timelines and ends up in a state where nobody can see him. In simple terms, his consciousness is only there and not his physical body. He overhears a conversation between Emma and Carter. She is worried about Liam's health, but Carter only wants information, and he suggests her to squeeze out the time machine's secrets quickly. He doesn't care if Liam lives or dies. Later, Emma goes to talk with Liam, and he reveals that he basically eavesdropped on their conversation. She finds it shocking how he did it, as he was nowhere near the room. He explains that he is stuck in a quantum state and doesn't know how to stop the world from ending. Emma is worried about his mental and physical condition and asks him to not do this experiment again. Later that night, Garrett arrives to discuss something unusual. Garrett shows him the cosmic pattern inside the chamber, which represents a spiral shape. Normal cosmic pattern is in circle shape, which indicates a loop. But when Liam is exposed to waves, the pattern changes to a spiral, which represents the universe. Garrett explains that if he is in a quantum state, there is no past, present, or future. Garrett then shows him the picture of the valley. He basically found this picture when he moved to his new apartment, and the valley is said to be 4,000 years old. Liam asks Garrett if he can send him back to the time when they did the first test run in the past. Garrett does some equations and starts the machine. He finds himself in a lab when they were doing experiments on living things. It is nighttime and Liam enters the chamber to check some things. Suddenly, a suspicious person starts the machine, and suddenly Liam jumps from different timelines. He sees the old man and even sees a scene where Emma comes to his facility room and runs away with him. He gets a vision of an old man giving him a stone, and he suddenly wakes up in the hotel room again. He tells Emma that it all started when someone locked him inside the chamber. Emma and Liam both suspect that it can be Carter, as he wanted to do human experiments soon. Emma questions him about why they are in a hotel and where are they going. Liam suddenly realizes that the old man was telling him to be at the valley. He tries to tell her, which annoys her a little. At this point, it is clear that she is developing some feelings for Liam. He asks her about what she stole from her sister, as he thinks knowing this will prove Emma from the past about his claims. Emma, who is already annoyed, argues with him that he needs to get his mind straight. According to her, the world is going to end and he is stuck on a silly question. She gets frustrated and leaves the room. Suddenly, he travels back to the time where someone trapped him in the chamber. The mysterious person reveals himself, and it turns out to be Garrett. Again, Liam jumps from the scene and returns to the present. He confronts Garrett and questions him about his motives. Well, he wanted to see if the time machine was working in order to travel in time. Basically, Garrett wants to take credit for making the machine, as he was jealous of Liam. He was testing it on a mouse, but when Liam entered the chamber, he couldn't resist and activated the device. Liam insists on stopping this drama and helping him save the world. Twist time, so it turns out Garrett also knows about the end of the world thing since he has used the machine himself. Liam explains to him that they need to go back in time and stop the machine or the time is going to collapse, triggering the end of the world. But you know, villains in the movie, as usual, Garrett just ignores him. His eyes are currently filled with greed and fame. Liam suddenly starts the machine and they both end up in the valley. They start fighting, and as Garrett is about to attack Liam, he hears the old man calling for him. Liam's mind suddenly jumps and reaches the old man. He comes to the realization that the old man is actually Garrett, who's stuck in a quantum state after the end of the world. There are no people left after the time broke, and Garrett, who's now old, have finally realized his mistake. The old Garrett asks him to stop the Garrett from the past and save the world. Liam's mind then drifts and he comes to the hotel room. Emma has calmed down now. Emma questions him again about why they are in a hotel and where are they going. Liam just smiles and comforts her, saying he wants to be in the present, with her. Even if the world ends, he wants to stay beside her. She's about to tell him about what she stole from her sister's wardrobe, but Liam stops her. Why? Because he believes in some other timeline he already knows this answer. He comes back to the fight where Liam hurts Garrett with the stone which the old man gave him. Suddenly, Emma comes to his rescue and knocks him down. £5.22. She finally answers the most anticipated question. Liam comes back to the time when they are going to show the machine to military higher-ups. He secretly malfunctions the machine and the test run fails. Basically, he stopped time from breaking in the first place. Carter is clearly angry with the outcome, but Liam's gaze gets fixated on Emma. He quickly enters the lift with her and tells her that she needs to return the £5.22 she stole from her sister.